Good evening. How's everyone this evening? Praise the Lord. This is a blessed and beautiful day, and I take it as a complete honor to be here with you. Anybody here for the first time? One. All right. Thank you. Two. Thank you all for coming. And so what we're going to do is we're not going to hold you. We're going to see if we can't wrap this thing up. We've been talking about healing naturally. We started off with the Bible Way to Health. That was an acronym. The B stood for best food in combinations. We found that in Genesis. The I was intake of plenty of water, Ezekiel. The B was be temperate. Philippians 4:5, let your moderation be known to all men. The next L was lots of rest and sleep. The E was exercise. The W was sunshine. The A was air. We need oxygen, air. And the Y was yield to God's will always. Those 8 prescriptions, we've talked about them throughout the week, throughout the month, and we'll be finishing them off today to see the importance of the Bible way to health. That those 8 prescriptions from God will literally help you to turn whatever sickness is in your body, whatever's going on that you don't like, it can turn itself around. But guess who's got to do it? You do. So it's an inside job. We've been taught by the doctors and by medicine that if you get sick, do what? Take a pill. You know, how do you spell relief? R-O-L-A-I-D-S, right? Some of y'all might be old enough to remember that, but that was a commercial. And all the children even learned. They'd go around, R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Everybody knew it because we'd been taught that. But that's not what the word says. So, no, that is cayenne pepper in the water. Cayenne pepper acts as a vasodilator. It opens up your bloodstream. Individuals that deal with high blood, cardiovascular, diabetes, I always tell them to start off drinking lots of cayenne pepper in their water. I just do it. I've been doing it for 45 years, so I just do it. It keeps the blood circulating like it's supposed to. And it gives you a little pop too, okay? Kind of keep you awake. No, it just circulates the blood. But health, I told you all the first day I was here, that health is a choice and not a chance. We talked about where's the beef last week. You remember that? Anybody here want to talk about where's the beef? We were talking about animal products and how we got to eat the way we do. The little lady in Wendy's went looking she rolled a burger up and she says, not enough meat on it. Well, I say that God's people have been saying that for a long time, thousands of years, because back in the wilderness in Numbers 11:4, we saw that the children, Noah had just gotten them 6 weeks out of bondage, and they were complaining. And they were saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? Where's the beef? So man has been asking that question for a long time. We've wanted to eat something that God never really intended for us to. So not to beat a dead horse, but we want to talk a little bit about cancer, what it is. In 1908, there was a gentleman by the name of Ilya Ilyich Metnikov, and he literally received the Nobel Prize in immunology. That means he scientifically worked on the immune system. 1908 now, that's a long time ago. And he proved something called phagocytosis. That was that in our bodies we have white cells, lymphocytes, we have phagocytes, which is phagocytosis, okay? We have B cells, T cells, helper cells, natural killer cells. All these are in our immune system, and they literally help our body to scavenge and fight off anything that gets in there that doesn't belong. And he proved that the phagocytosis simply meant this. If something got in your body that didn't belong, your body would do what? Eat it up. Okay, it would literally eat it up. So, like the clock stopped where it was and didn't go any further. Okay, so, but the bottom line is that simply means that we should not be sick if our immune systems are strong. In 1968, a man by the name of Sir MacFarlane Burnet did the same thing. He received that same Nobel Prize in immunology. What he did was he proved that all of your cells in your body would recognize them and tolerate them. But if you put something in your body that didn't belong, what would your body do? It would go to work. It would beat it up. It would jump on it. It would drive it out. Your immune system wouldn't accept it. Case in point, do you all know anybody that has received a transplant? Anybody? Kidney transplant, liver? Well, anyone that receives a transplant, their body is going to fight the donor transplant. If you're getting a kidney, your body is going to fight that kidney. Why? Because this is foreign. Even though your body needs a kidney, it doesn't feel like it needs that one. You need it, but the body says, So for the rest of your life, your body's going to fight that kidney. Now, if they give you a kidney that's in your bloodline, okay, then your body will say, oh, that's Uncle Joe's kidney. Come on in here. I know you. Come on in here, man. Hey, what? So I'm trying to help you to see how your immune system really works. It works for you, and it'll work against anything that comes in. But then sometimes something else can happen. I'm going to do this a little differently than I did this morning. You've heard of something that's called autoimmune disease? They've got us thinking that there's all these, fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis and sarcoidosis, and all these they can't figure out what it's coming from, so they call it what? Autoimmune disease. Well, autoimmune disease is really not a disease. It's the way the body heals itself. Your body is making millions of cells, and some of those cells do what? They get old and they wear out, and what do? They die. Well, when they die, they're dead in the bloodstream. And Leviticus 17:11 says the life of the flesh is in the what? The blood. So that means that they're in the bloodstream. So you've got some of these lymphocytes, phagocytes, T cells that'll go grab it and they'll eat it up. It'll dissolve it, or they'll carry it out of the body if you're drinking enough what? Water. And they'll take it out through the bowels if you're eating enough fiber, raw food, live food. Live food. You got to get that, because that's the food that God gave you in the beginning. So we know that back in the Bible, the priests, it says they brought strange fire into the temple. They start worshiping idols and animals and just eating all kind of wrong. They were doing all kind of stuff. Well, they were the priests, right? And they brought that into the temple. But guess what? This is a temple too. Who does this temple belong to? God. This is the temple of God. And God, who's the priest of this temple? Well, but who's the priest? We are. So our bodies would have lived forever, just like everything would have been all right back in those days with spirituality, if somebody hadn't brought strange fire in. So we brought strange fire into this temple. Can somebody tell me what one type of strange fire would have been? Come on, help me, y'all. Protein. Well, we need protein. Okay, thank you. Meat, flesh, the dead flesh of animals was never nothing was ever supposed to die in order for us to live. Only Christ. So think about that. I know this is stuff you had never had to think about before. But all I'm saying to you is your body is not designed to break down animal products. Your colon is 26 feet long. That means about from here to that wall there. And your large intestine is 9 feet long, so that's from this corner to that corner. So from here to that wall is almost 40-something feet. And it's wound around in your stomach, right? So now, a dog or a lion or a tiger or a leopard, their colon is about that long. And it's about that big around. So that means that what happens with the animal products, they get what they're going to get out of it, and the rest of it does what? It shoots on through. Does that make sense? Ours is 26 feet long, and the large intestine's that big, and the small intestine's that big, so the animal flesh does what? Gets stuck. It can't make it through, and so within a few days, weeks, months, years, that stuff is stinking. Bad. And it shouldn't. So I'm saying that I'm showing you how cancer sets up. It sets up because dead stuff sits in your body day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You may not want to hear this, but you need to. You need to know why you're sick. Nothing's floating down and getting you. I'm going to say it again. These diseases that we suffer from, like high blood, diabetes, arthritis, okay, these are not diseases that you got from mama and daddy. I don't care what the doctor said to you. It's not true. Do I have any nurses in here? Anybody work in the medical field? Anybody? Nobody? These diseases are called NCDs. That means non-communicable. That root word communicable, that means that you can't do what? Communicate it from one to another. You can't do that. And I always like to do the little something that I do. Have I used you in my discourses during this month? Not at all. Okay. What's your name? Wilhelmina? Wilhelmina, how are you doing? You have lovely hair. Wilhelmina, you also have a very quaint nose. Yeah, you do. It's a quaint nose. I don't know. It could be a little Indian, little African, whatever, mixed in there together. But here's the key. Is that nose more like mama's or daddy's? You have no idea. Okay. Well, here's the question. But I'm going to ask you a question that I know you know. When did you get that nose? When you were born. Now, Wilhelmina got her nose, that nice looking nose, when she was born. When do most people get diabetes and high blood pressure? In their 30s, 40s, 50s. Am I making any sense? See, that's hereditary. But these diseases are not. What's hereditary is Joanna eats the same way that her mother ate because her mother taught her how to cook. Joanna's mother eats the same way that her mother ate. Let me get some water here. It's been a long month and I'm getting parched, okay? So what's really hereditary is the way we eat, okay? We looked at a little record of history, and we saw that man was supposed to live forever. He sinned, and then he was living to be 1,000. Then he kept sinning. God destroyed the earth, and he allowed him to eat animals because there was no food left when the ark landed, right? And he told him to go ahead and be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. In other words, he told him to be a farmer just like Adam and Eve. He started all over again. But something happened. He allowed man at that point, Genesis the 9th chapter, verse 5, he said, you can eat every living thing, because they brought all those animals on the ark with them, right? They brought all the unclean animals by how much? By 2. But they brought the clean animals by what? 7s. Thank you. I want you to hear this real quick like. The unclean were just to make more animals, but the clean were so they could have something to what? Eat, because they weren't going to be able to eat any fruit and vegetables because it was what? All gone after 40 days and nights. Now listen to this carefully. So they had a temporary diet of animal flesh, because he said in verse 6, you can eat every living thing just as I gave you the vegetables, but you can't eat the blood with the flesh. And I'm going to require, you can look this up, this is Genesis 9:5. I'm going to require the blood of your life for every animal that you kill and eat. So what he was saying was, how does he require some of your blood out of your life? He shortens your lifespan. Noah lived to be 950 years. His son, almost stepped off of there, didn't I? His son, Arphaxad, lived to be 600 years. One generation dropped what? I'm sorry, Shem. His son Shem lived to be 600 years. One generation, they dropped 300 years. Shem's son, Arphaxad, lived to be 400 years. So in just 2 generations, they went from living to be 1,000 to living to be what? 400. That's 600-year drop. What was the difference in them after the flood and before the flood? God allowed them to eat what? Meat, animal flesh. I hope y'all see that. I don't care what you eat. I just want you to know that it's dead. And if something dies, you're supposed to bury it. Don't stone me now. Because I used to eat all the meat, anything that walked and flew and crawled and swam, I ate it. Monkey, moose, snake, snail, alligator, Kodiak bear, chocolate ants. I ate everything. If they said it was the coup de grace, I had to have it. I got to tell y'all something about me. I went to New York back in 1981. You know, I lived in Chicago as a little boy, but as an adult, I lived back in the South. You know, Memphis is the barbecue, the buckle of the barbecue belt, right? And so I didn't know nothing about nothing. So I went to New York, and there's a restaurant up there called Mama Leone's. Have you ever heard of it? World famous restaurant. And so everybody said, we're going to go to Mama Leone's. You coming, Frank? Oh, yeah. Know nothing about no Mama, no Leone. But anyway, I went, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to see what I'm going to eat, right? And I saw something that looked exquisite. It said deep-fried, tender calamaraca a la greca. Whew. I knew it was something that was Greek style, a la greca, right? So I said, I'll have that. And I'm sitting there, and they're bringing everybody salmon and whatever they're eating out. Then they come out to me with this big plate, this big platter, and it's got all these rings on it. It was an octopus tentacle with the rings on it. So I had ordered some deep, tender, fried baby squid. Boy, my stomach started doing the woo, 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 woo. It was about to run away from me, but I ate it, and it really tasted pretty good. So all I'm saying is I ate everything. So I'm not picking on you because I know. But when I was eating everything, something else was going on in my life. Can anybody guess what it was? Illness. I was very sick, sick unto death. My bones were all messed up. They wanted to operate on me when I was 12, 13 years old. I had all these back doctors, orthopedic surgeons, chiropractors, had them all, right? My mother didn't let them operate on me. When I got older, I wouldn't let them operate on me. So my back was messed up all my life. Spondylosis of the spine, just messed all up. I had ED at age 30. My dad died at 52. I was 22. And I said, whoa, he had a stroke. I eat the same barbecue. I drink the same scotch. And I smoke the same cigarettes. I won't make it to 32 the way I'm going. And so at age 30, I changed it all. And did I tell you all the story about me and the accident in 93? I was in several bad auto accidents, but this one, I went to sleep on I-55 going down the delta of Mississippi, and I hit the bridge at Grenada, tore the whole right side of the car off. The car was about as long as that desk there. It was a little Opel Kadett, little bitty little two-seater car, right? Tore the whole right side off, took this leg into the back seat. My hip came loose in the back. It's called a posterior dislocation. It took them an hour and a half to cut my leg out of all that twisted metal in that car. I'm not supposed to be able to walk. My kneecap was around here. took about 5 weeks for it to come back, but it didn't break. And the little guy came in, the little doctor came in, he says, Mr. Taylor, you're the luckiest man in the world. I said, why you say that, doctor? He said, look at this here. You know, they used to have your little x-rays up on the wall in your room where you could see them. He said, your leg was supposed to break in 8 or 9 places, and the dang thing didn't break at all. He said, you're lucky. I said, no, I'm not. I'm blessed. Because I showed you all in Ezekiel 4:11, God said we're supposed to drink what? A minimum of 8 glasses a day. But he said drink that you got your water. Look at you. Praise the good Lord. Oh, my goodness. You come to the desk before you leave. By the way, I've got something for all of you. You come to the desk, I got something special for you. What's your name? Thank you. You got your water with you. That's right. Folks, my wife says I'm the only man she knows that'll walk around and go up in the pulpit with a gallon of water and a chef hat on. Somebody told me that a picture was worth a what? 1,000 words. I was in New York once, in Queens, New York, and this great big church with about 12,000 members. And I walked up into the pulpit with my water, and the little lady saw me and screamed, ah! He's defiling the pulpit. And she ran up there with some crystal glasses, you know, with the gold top on them. I said, I don't need that. You must. She was going to jump on me in the pulpit because I had my gallon of water. But when I finally got to the part about water, then she understood what I was saying. One of the most important things you can do is to keep your body hydrated. Most of us, when we go to the doctor, to the clinic, or to the hospital, the first thing they do is what? Hook you up to IV and hydrate you, because 99 out of 100 people, you all out there right now, are basically dehydrated because most of you don't drink enough what? Water. How much water should you drink? 8 glasses, but what is the formula? Half of your body weight divided in half. That number of ounces of water. Because the larger you are, the more water your body needs. So we're talking about cancer. So let's look at this. The body divides cells and you start growing. But if that happens too quickly, then you set the stage for cancer. It's like one bad apple will spoil a whole bunch, right? Well, a cancer cell gets in and he affects another cell, that divides that. Before you know it, you got more cancer than you got healthy cells. And that's when we've got the problem. Well, I talked about McFarland Burnett and Ilya Ilnet-Metnikov. Both of them proved that our body could destroy anything that didn't belong if the immune system was strong. Well, let's talk about what it takes to keep the immune system strong. They both agreed on something, that the body had 5 needs. Now, when I talk to you all, I talk to you all about 7 needs, right? Well, 8 really. Best food, you need food, you needed water, you needed rest, you needed exercise, you needed air, you needed sunshine, you needed all of those, and you needed God's assistance to help you do those, right? Because it's hard to change a bad habit, something you hadn't done before. It's hard to change that without God's help. But the bottom line is there's something else that we've got to look at. If you want change in your life, there's something that has to happen first. You have to change the way you what? Think. You got to change the way you think. And so what they said was, let's look at the 5 things that the body needs in order to survive. There was a man, I'm trying to think of his name. It might come to me a little bit. But he literally had something called the experiment with, chicken. What was that famous chicken that used to be Henry the chicken? Yeah, Henry the chicken heart. They called him Henry the chicken heart. And what it was some tissue from a chicken heart. And he saved it from 1916 to 1932. So he had like about 7 graduating classes. He was a physicist and a professor of physics, okay? And he literally kept that chicken heart alive for 26 years, I think it was. So that was pretty close to about 6 graduating classes. And at the end of every 4 years, they would come in and they would bid farewell to Henry the Chicken Heart. Now, he kept that chicken heart alive for 26 years until he stopped teaching. And then they threw it in the trash. He said that the cell was immortal, that the cell could live forever. And he almost proved it. He kept that thing alive for, all them years, right? But he proved that he did 5 things to keep it alive. And that's what we want to talk about real quick, because those 5 things will keep your body going, and they will keep your immune system strong. And when your immune system is strong, it will destroy anything that comes into the body. This has been proven over and over and over and over again. But why don't they teach us about that in school? Why do they teach us that if you get sick, you need to go to the medicine cabinet? Because that's where Mama took most of us when we got sick, right? We got a fever, we got some baby aspirin, or some Castoria, or some castor oil, or something came out of that cabinet. So, bottom line, 5 things. What's the number one thing that the body must have in order for it to survive, in order for it to grow and strengthen and heal and all that kind of thing? What's the number one thing? Okay. Water sounds good. Sounds good. But what is really the number one thing that we need? Oxygen. In Genesis, the 1st chapter, God breathed into man's nostrils a glass of water, and he became a living soul. No. He breathed into his life what? Into his nostrils, the breath of life. So the first gift that the Creator gave us was oxygen. That's what brought life into our bodies. And so Leviticus 17:11 tells us that the life of the flesh is in the what? The blood. And the blood flows, and when it flows, what does it bring in? Oxygen. Are you getting that? When we drink water, what does it bring in? Oxygen, H2O, because your body needs oxygen in order for you to function. And we talked about oxygen cocktails. Breathe in and count to how much? 10. And breathe out and count to 5. You're breathing in, smelling the roses. You're breathing out, and you're blowing out the candles. But bottom line, you build your diaphragm. It holds more oxygen, and your life becomes better. Take a deep breath, pain goes away. It's automatic. That's healing. That's healing. All right. So, number 1 is oxygen. What's number 2? You already said it. Water. Water. You must have water in order for your body to stay hydrated. Your brain is 83% water. Your muscles and tissues and your heart and your lung, those boys are 73, 78% water. Even your bones are 28% water. 23% water, I'm sorry. So your body is basically what? Water. When we talk about bone on bone in our backs, in our spines, and those discs, in between each disc is a little pad. And guess what it's full of? Water. That's why, you can't hurt it, But once that water is dissolved and pulled out of there, it gets down, and they call it what? Bone on bone. But listen to me. God's body knows how to repair itself. You start drinking water, and that bone will start repairing itself. It might not get the way it was when you were 13, but it sure would be nice to be like it was in 33. What you say? Have y'all seen me jump? I'm not supposed to be able to walk. There's no magic, but y'all see what I keep with me? My jug. I don't care if y'all don't like it. Take my jug everywhere I go. Been carrying this jug for 45 years. And I outrun everybody in my family named Taylor. I was an only child. I was the oldest and the youngest. But I outrun all of my boys. I had 7 boys and 2 girls. I helped deliver the first 3. I delivered the last 4 at home, so I have the right to outrun them. I pulled them in here. First eyes to see them, first hands to touch them. I'm blessed. I homeschooled 8 of my 9. So I'd homeschool them, then I'd take them out to lunch and outrun them. The girls, I'd show them how to jump double Dutch. I'd do some fancy stuff on my Dutch. I mean, moving. Outrun them, they come to town, get the tennis shoes out. Don't want to lose my little thing here. And before they can move, I got 5 yards on them. So they start coming to Memphis and forgetting their tennis shoes. Oops, Dad, we forgot our I got some. I go buy extra 4 or 5 pair to have them ready. Okay, so I'm making us laugh a little bit, but I want you to hear that your body is designed to heal itself. So the first thing we needed was what? Oxygen. The second thing was what? Water. The third was what? Nutrition. You see, you can go how many days without food? Weeks. How long can you go without water? Days. How long can you go without oxygen? No time at all. Just a few moments, most of you. So I'm trying to get you to see the importance of those. Those are the things. God gave it to you first, so it's important. Water is important. Your body is basically all water. Your blood is water. Everything is water. You need water. Not tea, not coffee, not Coke, not Budweiser. I mean, I know y'all don't drink Budweiser. You don't, do you? I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Okay. So, bottom line, we need oxygen, water, nutrition. Why not food? Why not just food? Because your body doesn't feed off of food. It feeds off of what? Nutrition. What is nutrients? What food is nutrient? Is nutritious? Fruits, nuts, grains, and vegetables in what state? Live. So you can have cooked food, but with your cooked food, you need some live. Are y'all getting this? Have I ever said you just got to eat all raw, live? No. You need more of this. And how much do I drink? How much do I eat, Dr. Franco? I don't know. How much do you want your waistline to go in? How far down do you want your blood pressure to go? How far down do you want your A1C? Are y'all listening to me? How far up do you want your energy to go? How fast do you want to heal? All of that is going to be based on eating what? Live food. Because Dr. Franco said so, right? No, because that's the first food that God gave you. The second words that he spoke to man. And everything he does it how? Decently and what? In order. And the first thing he spoke to man, the second words were, eat the fruit, nuts, grains, and vegetables. So, oxygen, water, H2O, and then what? Nutrition. The fourth thing is clean out the mess. Okay? Clean out. I've got a product out there called Colon Broom. I designed it 43 years ago for that very purpose because I knew the first thing that needed to happen was what? You need to clean out. You don't mop your floor until you do what? I mean, you don't wax your floor until you mop it first, right? You don't wax your car until you what? Clean it off first. So it's the same thing with your body. And so what would the fifth thing be? We got oxygen, water, nutrition, get the waste out, and then what? So like we've already done all those. We've done that. That's good. That's good. But what is absolute necessity to stay alive? Okay, all those are good. Oxygen, water, nutrition, not food, nutrition, get the waste out, and keep it out. In other words, clean out, clean up, and stay clean. Clean out your body. Then clean up your act. Stop putting in stuff that doesn't belong in here. You keep putting in stuff that's making you sick. Someone says if you keep doing the same thing over and you expect different results, that's what? Got any insane folk out there? No, I know I don't, but what they proved was that if you did that, your immune system would be so tough that it would fight anything that came in, including cancer and full-blown AIDS. Was anybody here for the lunch for 12:30? Okay. Someone came up and talked and gave a testimony. But I've got individuals who literally, you name the cancer, from metastatic breast cancer to triple negative to, it doesn't matter. Cancer is cancer is cancer. It just means that the cells in the body, the cancerous cells, are dividing and developing faster than the body can fight it off. And most times it's because we put what? Strange fire. I've always said, I've got 15 pit bulls in my house, 30 pit bulls on the porch, and 40 pit bulls in the yard. If I decide to go out of my house, step out the door, step on the porch, walk down the drive, and just walk down the street, and I got millions of dollars in my house, who's going in my house? Why not? Because I've got a strong immune system. Does that make sense? Strong immune system. It can whoop anything. But just suppose, somebody pulled all their teeth. Then what would my immune system do? What would the pit bulls do? They might gum me a little bit, but I think it can make it through that. Well, that's what we do when we put the wrong things in our bodies as it relates to food, and our immune system can't strengthen, it can't get strong, and so then we get all these waste cells. And yes, the body will go in and try to get rid of these dead, decaying cells, and when that happens, the system says that you got what? Autoimmune disease. But that's the body's way of getting rid of what? Waste. Huh? If filth were to come up in your commode and get on your bathroom floor, would you just leave it there? You'd go do what? Get rid of it. And that's what your body does. It's getting rid of the filth. But they'll call that autoimmune disease. Leaky gut, cancer basically is the body getting out of control because we let too much waste get in. The waste gets in, and then the immune system and all the other cells of the body begin to become inundated with filth, where they can't work. Your car can't work if you change the oil to get all that sludge and so forth in the crankcase, and the engine can't move. And it's the same thing with your bodies. Is this making sense? Or am I oversimplifying? I want to break it down to the ridiculous so that you understand that if I come to the corner and there's 6 guys on the corner, and I come with 12 guys, and we have an altercation, whose team is more than likely to win? Mine, the 12. But if they call and 20 more come in, then what happens? So that's what's going on. Mark 3:27 says, no one can break into a strong man's house and spoil his goods unless he first does what? Bind the strong man. So cancer has come in and taken over. You start building your immune system by eating more what? And drinking more what? And getting more what at night? And getting more what? Am I making any sense? You do that and the body starts kicking back in gear. The immune system starts building back up. And you're going to go through some rough haul there, but sooner or later, it's going to get to the point where you're even Steven, and then it spills over this way. And they call it a miracle. But you realize because of these sessions that you need to eat more live food. How many of you have actually gone and started eating more live food? You feel better? Yeah, I'm 15 pounds. Woohoo! 15 pounds. Praise God for you. Wow. You see, I could talk about that all day long, but until you went home and did it, that's why 3 a.m. That's called happy hour. Ain't nobody up but you and Jesus. See, you already got it. You wake up at 3 o'clock and feel like you've been asleep for a week, don't you? Feel good. See what? Y'all see that? Praise the Lord for you. Nobody can tell you that that doesn't work, can they? No, because you know it works. You proved it. Okay. Come on now. Woo-hoo. Do y'all hear that? No problem with the knees, no more shots, lost 15 pounds, and just getting started. And as good looking as you are, you keep it up, we're going to have to send a bodyguard out there to watch you. You will. Just, it's called want to. The old folks call it want to. You got to want to. Yeah, you got to want to. So we're going to open up for questions. Questions, anyone? Remember, cancer is simply the body's inability to fight because we're hampering it somehow. We're putting something in the system that doesn't belong. And so all of our organs are not getting, your brain needs 1/3 of the nutrition that goes in your body. You want to know why you can't remember? You want to know why you can't make good decisions? Or you try to come up with a word and the word just won't come? It's because the brain is starved for nutrition, starved for water, starved for rest. We make excuses. Well, I'm going to get some sleep sooner. What? That's my worst thing of all, not getting enough rest. And I can say I don't get enough because I'm trying to heal all of y'all. That's not a good enough excuse, is it? No. No one should try to do God's work. And I've tried to do it several times, and I've literally gone into total collapse where you use up all of your regular physical energy. You work on your nervous energy until you use that all up, and then you fall out. I've done that 5 times in 45 years. Every time I do it, I say, God, I'll never do this again. And I catch myself running. Folks calling me all 24/7. How do I? This information you heard this week, was it good information? Was a lot of it new to you? None of it was new? Some of it? With another spin on it, did it make more sense? And it made you realize that you can do it. Well, that's what it's all about, folks, is making those changes. In order for things to change, you've got to change. In order for things to get better, you got to get better, and it starts with a change of your mind. Okay? Questions? Anyone? Yes. For people who are dealing with blood pressure and so forth, we suggest a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper with a Scoville, well, I'll say with heat units, HU 90,000 and above. The kind that you get from the store, you would need to put about a teaspoon or more of that in because it's not really that hot. But the hotter the cayenne pepper is, the more vitamin C that it has in it. That's what makes it so hot. So those kind of peppers really are not bad for you. I'm not saying eat them until your throat is on fire. But you can get some mildly heated ones, okay, or just a little bit in your food, or just sprinkle a little cayenne on your food, or drink some in your water. And it's called a vasodilator. That's cardiovascular. Get it? Vascular. It opens up the bloodstream, and it allows the blood to flow through. The blood can't get through, but when the cayenne gets in there, it opens up, the blood flows through, and the pressure does what? Go down. But if the pressure is too low, what does it do? It causes the blood to flow. And so to build low pressure up, it'll take high pressure down. That's a dilator. Oh, isn't that deep? Cayenne pepper in the kitchen cabinet. Most of the things you need for your life, you can find at the grocery store. Question? Any other question? We're going to go out to the table because I've got something for you. Anyone else question? Okay. Well, I don't know. This young lady eats a soup from the China buffet every day, spicy, nice, delicious tasting soup. I mean, it's probably delicious. And go and ask them if it has MSG in it. And they said it doesn't, but it have a ball. If it's not too salty, because sodium is not, too much sodium is not good for you too. But, I mean, if it's filling you and you're feeling all right from it, your pressure's not going up, have a ball. If you find something that's working, let it work. Folks, it's been a pleasing pleasure being here for the month of April. I've had a good time. I hope that we brought some information that help you to live a higher quality of life, pass it on to someone else. As usual, I have something out there for you, but Romans 12, 1 and 2. I almost have no voice, so I'm going to try, okay? Romans 12, 1 and 2. I beseech ye therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may find what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Romans 12, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay. Again, not because I sing so well, but because that is one of the most powerful scriptures in the Bible. God says, don't be conformed to the world. If the world is eating at Mickey D's, Captain D's, Win D's, one of D's, some of D's, all of D's, maybe it ought to be none of these. But anyway, you should go home maybe sometimes and just have a sack lunch at home. Are y'all getting me? And it says, but be ye what? Transformed by the renewing of your mind. You've got information here that'll save lives. You're looking around with, and family members are dropping dead every day. Some of them look better than you all do. And you're wondering what's going on. I have vegetarians and vegans coming to me with high blood, diabetes, fibromyalgia. Y'all get that? Because it's an inside job. They look good on the outside. They may exercise or whatever, but those arteries, when they close up, that's a heart attack, an aneurysm, or a stroke. And when those insulin receptors clog up, that is diabetes. And once those come in both cases, whether it's diabetes or high blood, in a little while, you're going to start having macular degeneration. That means early blindness. Okay? Are y'all listening to me? You're going to start having problems with pain, okay, in the legs, gout, swelling, urinary problems, ED, high blood diabetes, we already said that, but those are going to lead to other things. And then you're going to take meds that's going to lead to other things. And you're going to take leg, and boy, you be doing the womb walk out the well, I like for us to smile, but the bottom line is you can change, and it starts with a change of your mind. And the information you got here today is enough to make it happen. You can call me. You can sign up for a consultation. I've seen 16,000 people in 45 years, and I've shown thousands of people how to turn even cancer and AIDS around. I didn't heal anybody. I've never healed anybody, but I showed them how to work with God's body, and God's body healed itself. Yes, ma'am. Praise God. That's right.
I was diagnosed with manic depressive bipolar illness back in when I was 36 years old.
Okay.
But people wouldn't know it unless I told them.
Sure.
Because I graduated from the University of Memphis with a bachelor's in psychology.
All right.
I have an associate's in accounting. I worked as the director of medical records department in Missouri before I moved here. So people wouldn't even know I had it unless I told them. And I used to be on 15 different medications. Now I'm down to one.
Watch out. So if y'all hear that testimony, and from what's happened in the last few weeks, she's got more fuel for the fire, right? You can take it to the next level. Are y'all listening to that? You can make a decided change because health is not a chance. It's a what? A choice. Folks, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure. What I've got at the back table for you, I actually have, we're introducing, I was going to wait until sometime in May and June, but because I'm here at Brown Baptist, because I love Bartholomew Orr so much, I'm going to actually do a soft launch of our Move Over Meat product, okay? And we've got some barbecue out here for all of you to sample, okay? Thank you all. God bless you. Until the next time.